Captain's office. Captain's level 5 log. Earth space. Stardate 7324, 1831 hours. Having just spent an ordeal on the previous ship and now spending my first hour on the Saxon again, I had the crew that was on shift for bridge duty to take us out from the space dock. I wanted to remain in transporter range in case there were any cargo duties before we left Earth space. Our mission is cargo, therefore I will await for any customers, so to speak. I noted that the communications officer on the bridge was one of the new androids. This one we named Twerk looked like a Vulcan. I have yet to speak to the Admiral about any of this. I hope I can stay in Earth orbit until I see or talk to the Admiral in person. Fleet Command has ordered that I stay in Earth space no later than Stardate 7331. It seems we will have a contract to carry cargo between Starbase 10 and Mars Logistics Port. This will be primarily to take cargo from the Mars port to the starbases within a 7-day journey from Earth. Fleet Command indicates they want to keep us close to Earth until we are sure that the Saxon is up to the challenge of longer voyages. No further news about Operation Gold Star. End of Level 5 operations. End of Level 5 Captain's log. Excuse me. Captain's quarters. 7325. 0855 hours. My communicator said, Captain Fowler, over. Steinway, over. Admiral Hammer has just arrived in shuttlecraft and would like to meet you, over. Tell him I will meet him on the bridge or in my office, over. Understood. Fowler, out. In my captain's office, nearing 0900 hours at this point, I entered my office and used the replicator to create a cup of coffee. I then sat sipping my coffee, awaiting the arrival of the Admiral. I heard the door chime. Enter. Took one more last sip. I also stood at attention. Seeing the Admiral, I saluted. He returned the salute and said, At ease. I stepped around my desk and to greet him more cordially. Well, Captain, said the Admiral, Operation Gold Star still a go, and I have seen your alien androids and understand that it is a means to differentiate between android and human. Am I correct? That's about it, sir. Yeah, this was not Admiral Browning's idea, was it? No. No, sir, it wasn't. It was my idea after I kind of had a joke played on me by my first officer. Yes, I have spoken to Commander Fowler, and I gather from the conversation that you are using the old-style lieutenant system again, are you? Well, yes, I had understood that we had returned to the older style, I said, feeling a bit unsure now. Well, we're going to stick with assistance, so you understand how that works, then, right, Captain? I'm clear on the concept, Admiral. I'm understanding the term ensign is out and the term officer is in. Is that how it works? The current practice, or the current plan, said the Admiral, is to refer to the first grade of assistant as assistant junior grade, followed by assistant, followed by the next higher, which would be commander, and Then, of course, Captain. No more incidents, sir. Understood, I said, just trying to look happy. I will provide you with the laminated instruction sheet if needed, Captain, said the Admiral. No, no, sir. Not needed. I understand. I know that Admiral Browning would go for the alien androids. I'm thinking it over. On a trial basis, I will allow it. It does have merit, so yes, let it happen. Make it so, said the Admiral at last. I smiled, knowing that Admiral Browning would like the idea, yet I wondered if I was going to be happy with alien-looking androids walking around the place. It somehow did not seem professional. Do these alien androids have names? Asked the Admiral. They do, sir, I said. The Vulcan that I have assigned to second shift communications on the bridge, and let me say that there is no need to think in terms of overworking them, except for maybe recharging. That went on the bridge. He was currently, yes, his name is Twerk. Actually, Commander Fowler named him Torque. What do you think, Admiral? I think it looks like Halloween every day, as it is, Captain. Maybe you should rename him Torque. Yes. However, even that sounds a bit, well, carry on, Captain. Now, if there is nothing more, I would like a tour of this new refurbished ship. I indicated the doorway, and he walked out onto the bridge. I followed him again, a tour of the ship. Entering holodeck 1 on the Saxon. As I entered, I saw that I was in a rail yard, watching and hearing the trains go by. The one thing that I noticed was that I really couldn't smell the odor of the diesel. So checking the wind, I realized the wind was blowing away from me. That could have a lot to do with it. It also made sense that the computer made the realism very, very real by the fact that the train was not as loud as I knew it would be if the wind was coming back in my direction. Therefore, I walked toward the tracks, waited, and when the train cleared, I looked both ways, making sure there were no other trains, and I walked across the track and waited. There was a man standing over by a building, so I walked over, and he had on a train engineer's cap. So I asked him, "When's the next train coming through?" He nodded and said, "Well, they come through here all the time. I don't know when the next one's going to be through. You're just going to have to wait, but it probably won't be very long." Okay. "So what are you doing here?" he asked me. "Well, I'm just observing. I'm observing and testing this holodeck system," I said. "Holo what?" the man asked. "Computer, pause program." The computer program paused, and everything was frozen. "Computer, exit." I had other things to do. It seemed to be working properly. So I exited into the corridor and saw no one. So I knew I was still on duty. However, I headed down the corridor for the turbo lift that would take me to the officer's lounge. Take me to the officer's lounge, I said to the turbolift, and it began to move. I exited, and there were about 3 individuals walking the other direction, and they saluted. I returned the salute. So I made my way to the officer's lounge, entered, and saw, to my delight, that the holographic system was operating again with the Guinan at the bar. So I walked up there. Hello, Guinan. So tell me about your experience while you were away. Nothing to report, sir. Quite simply, I had no recollection. But let me ask you something, Captain, asked Guinan. Have you ever considered how quickly you think? What do you mean, Guinan? Well, you know those little pregnant pauses that I've noticed that humans have? Computers do not always have that. However, to mimic human activity, we must stop and think about things. Although we're not really thinking. It's not hard to do. We could just randomly, you see, I'm doing it now. Are you? I asked Guinan. Yeah, I should probably do a better job. Oh, are you doing it now? Yes, very long. It was an eternity, sir. So why I'm asking this is that someone, I will not name their name, privacy issues. Apparently, that's the way I'm programmed now. Well, it should be the way you're programmed, I said. Very well. It is the way I'm programmed now. However, getting back to it. Here, I've got to do it again. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Guinan. But while you're doing this thinking bit and everything, why I was here was to get a drink. Don't tell me, Captain. Pina colada? Well, no, not today. I'll just have a rum and coke. Sir, real alcohol? No, synthahol. Very well. One moment, sir. So, you don't want to name names to this individual. However, how many people were in the lounge whenever this was going on? What do you mean, Captain? I don't know of any other meaning I could indicate besides numbers, Guinan. How many other individuals, androids, objects were in the lounge? Oh, indeed. Yes. I would say I'm trying to act like a computer, acting like a human, sir. Forgive me. Well, act like... No, don't act. Be a computer, Guinan. Oh, very well. There were 3 people in the lounge. Who are the people? Oh, Tabitha Green, and there was an android. Yes, it was, I think it was a Vulcan. Yes. And the Klingon entered after. Well, anyway. Okay, got it. Let me see if I can figure this one out. Are you telling me that you conversed with the Klingon? No. I've got to keep it private. Well, from deduction, I'm guessing it was a Klingon. Well, anyway, Guinan, privacy issues are important, so I give you credit for that. Where's my drink? I asked. Here you go, sir. She slid the glass to me, and I couldn't help but sniff of it first and then take a sip. You act like you don't trust me, Captain, asked Guinan. Well, yeah, You may look like Guinan, you may sound like Guinan, but I know you're a computer simulation. Well, anyway, so I'll take this to a table. Thank you. Anything else, Captain? Not at the moment, I said. So I turned and I went to my table and sat down and sipped my drink, thinking about all this, wondering, am I living in a simulation? I thought to myself. I couldn't rule it out. I really could not rule it out. How to deal with it? Only if we had a ship's counselor. Could I pull rank? Would I be able to have one assigned? Do I ask the fleet? I don't know. I guess I could try. That's a thought. Otherwise, I would have to make an android, which I would then be suspecting as being trying to put one over on me. Yeah. I really did need to curtail the use of androids. It could get very ridiculous, very silly. Too many androids might be a bad thing. Something that I would do. After my non-alcoholic drink, I rose from the table in the officer's lounge and walked to the door. As I exited the lounge, there was Felix the android. Felix. Yes, sir. How may I help you? Have you seen Boone? Assistant Commander Boone? Yes, I believe he's just, well, let me see. Where was that? Let me think. He was exiting the holodeck. I think he was on his way to engineering. Stand by. Oh, that's right. Boone told me I could not use a communicator. You'll just have to call him, sir. Or go to engineering. Very well, I said. I walked to the turbolift and stepped in. Turbolift, take me to engineering. On reaching engineering, I let the door open, and there was Boone standing beside Assistant Bannister. Boone, I said. Yes, sir. How may I help you? Well, it's a matter of filing system. I seem to misplace a file and I needed your help, and it's a security file. I believe it's level 5. I hope so. Otherwise, well, anyway, if I can locate it. That should be easy enough, sir. Just go to a console. It's going to be, it's going to be a secure area file. So it's probably, I will need to go to a confined area. Probably, well, sir, said Boone, go to your office. It's a secure area, correct? Well, I mean, it is, I can tell you. Okay, let's go. Follow me. We walked the rest of the way back to the turbolift and had it to take me to the bridge. And then I went from there into my office, looking behind me, seeing Boone close on my heels. We entered and allowed the door to close. Okay, now, it's not just a matter of going to a console, Boone. It's a matter of having an android or something like an android to give me the file. It's a voice file, which is appropriate for a secure area. Okay. Access the file the way that you normally would if you were addressing me as an android. So, do that. Okay. Let's see. I need a file with the word being gold star. And like I said, I'm not sure what the security level was. Okay, let's see. And then Boone walked around the desk to the computer console. Excuse me, Boone, I could do that. You can leave. Very well, sir. I thought you needed my help. No. Leave. Yes, sir. You're dismissed. Sorry to be so rude. That's okay, sir. I watched and waited for Boone to leave, and while I had the chance, I went and made me a cup of coffee just so I'd have it to sip on. There. There it was. Yes, I see what the problem was. So, computer, give me Gold Star. It's level 6. Very well, said the computer. Here's your file. Please stand by. Activation code. Let's see. This is Captain Steinway of the cargo ship Saxon.
This text document has been recorded in audio. Starfleet Level 6. VY's Admiral Lightyne White Large Square White Large Square White Large Square. Stardate 7260. The Stargate Singularity System on the outer belt around Earth's solar system, at .00149579, has been breached successfully. I am assigning the Earth vessel Saxon, under the command of Oliver Steinway and Lexington, under the command of Arthur Kane to eventually take up station at the gate. The Lexington will guard the gate, along with the Saxon. However, the Saxon is primarily tasked with transport from Earth, Mars, on two-way trips between a star base that will be built and designated Starbase 11. End of Level 6 Starfleet document.
Okay. Now I've heard it once more. It's funny, the last time I heard the Admiral's voice was really odd how that it said white square, yes, indicating the rank of the Admiral. 3, yes. Now, moving on. What was I going to do with the information? I think that my mind was still on this trust issue and the simulation that I got into when I was on the Neutron. Yes, it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of trusting whether it's a simulation issue. Yes, and the androids. Now we are to not trust the androids beyond level 1. So how is this computer console not an android? So yes. Computer, is this a secure area? I asked. Indeed, it is a secure area, said the computer. To what level? To what level? Probably level... No, probably about it, computer. Computer, can you turn this office... Well, how do I put this? Computer, can you stop listening to me? No longer listening. There was a beep. Computer, can you hear me? Computer. Well, I'll just have to trust the computer cannot hear. Now, let me do one more thing. I will go to the file again and see if there's a difference. Operation Gold Star, OS Trek, Starfleet Level 6, Vice Admiral Lightyne, Stardate 7260. The Stargate Singularity System on the outer belt around Earth solar system at .00149579 has been breached successfully. I am assigning the Earth vessel Saxon under the command of Oliver Steinway and Lexington under the command of Arthur Kane to eventually take up station at the gate. The Lexington will guard the gate, along with the Saxon. However, the Saxon is primarily tasked with transport from Earth, Mars, on two-way trips between a starbase that will be built and designed. It will be designated Starbase 11. I will now use the computer to record this in a copy